So I set up this money blaster cannon spot, and then I hear an orbital strike. And I'm like, where the heck is this thing? And then I die. Don't adjust your sets, it's not a glitch, it's actually lag. And I'm sure it's something that most of you guys have already experienced and are already very frustrated with. And lag is a pretty big deal in online FPS games. And it's something that I didn't pay attention to a lot in the past because, I used to really suck at online shooters. But lately I can tell a huge difference when the game is lagging compared to when I have a good connection. So this video is all about lag, how it affects your game, what you can do to improve it. So without further ado, let's get into it. But first things first, I'll swap over to some decent gameplay. The gameplay you're seeing is a 17-0 round of Blast. And I recorded this one night when I was trying to unlock my upgraded scattergun. I basically had like 20 scattergun kills left to go. So I decided to jump on a couple rounds of Blast. Only problem was that my connection wasn't so good, and I had a lot of trouble winning gunfights. The reason that you have trouble winning gunfights when you're lagging a lot is because in an online game there's basically multiple instances of the same game. For simplicity's sake, we'll just consider you and your opponent, just two people and the server. Battlefront uses dedicated servers. So between you and your opponent, there's 3 instances of the game going on at any given time. So if you're experiencing 150 milliseconds of lag and your opponent's experiencing 50 milliseconds of lag, even if you shoot, as soon as your opponent appears on screen, he still has a 100 millisecond advantage over you. So if you take for example the E11, which is one of my favorite guns, it's a 300 round per minute rate of fire. And that breaks down to 200 milliseconds between each shot. Your opponent's already got a shot off and is well on his way to a second shot by the time you're able to land one shot. And this year's issues exacerbated even further with low time to kill close quarters guns like the DH-17, SE-14C, and the CA-87. Once your opponent's transmitted to the server that you're dead in his game, then that's going to be it for you, even though on your screen it may look like that you may have been able to win. So what can you do about this? Well, one of the easiest fixes is to plug your PS4 or PC into a router using an old school Ethernet cable. And I remember doing this on Modern Warfare 3, and it helped a lot. It was a night and day difference. And there's something to do with the way wireless routers interface with the internet that affects online gaming, and it has nothing to do with your ping. You may have great ping, you may have a 4-bar connection to the server, but you're still going to lag tremendously if you're using a router. And it has to do with something called buffer bloat. I'm not really well versed in networking technology, so I'm just going to reference a Drifter video that I watched a couple years ago, and I learned about this. Basically, wireless routers have to use some memory and cache to be able to buffer internet data, and it's all a bit technical for me. So if you want, go ahead and have a look at that video by Drifter, and he actually referenced another video, so you can go watch and learn all about that. However, that solution is not going to work for everyone. A lot of newer routers don't have this issue with buffer bloat, so even if you plug your console into the router, it may not make a difference for you. And B, if you're a lot like me, your living situation may not let you plug your PS4 directly into the router. In that case, I find that if I play during times that other people aren't using the internet, it helps a lot. Like if your roommates want to stream Netflix and download stuff, that's going to cause a lot of lag, and that's probably due to buffer bloat. Unfortunately, the only time I can get a decent connection where I live is to play in the morning. But in addition to doing those things, you can also change your playstyle to cope with lag. Of course, you can just choose not to play. Go play an offline game. But if you have to get your Battlefront fix in, you can change the way you play. For instance, stick to automatic guns like the E11 and the A280C. You're going to have a much easier time winning gunfights with an automatic gun than a semi-automatic like the DT-12 or DL-44. You can also take advantage of something called the peeker's advantage, where in an online game, if you peek around a corner, it's going to take a couple seconds for you to appear on your opponent's screen, so you can use that to try to get the jump on them. And you should be trying to incorporate the peeker's advantage into your gameplay regardless. It gives you a huge advantage, especially in Battlefront where you have the third-person camera and you can see around the corner. Another thing that I do when I'm lagging a lot is I try to avoid close quarters one-on-one gunfights, especially because that guy is probably going to have a DH-17 or a SE-14C to melt me. Just like you see in the video, I'm trying to take advantage of my teammates' supporting fire, trying to stay in cover, and trying to engage in distances where my E11 has the advantage. You can also run low time to kill or insta-kill start cards like the scout pistol, cycler rifle, scatter gun, or pulse cannon. because those guns kill very quickly. Your opponent may get the first few shots, but you're going to win that gunfight. And another thing I do if I'm lagging a lot, just like you see in the video, I stick to blast. For starters, having to connect to a 40-player game is probably going to not help the situation. And I try to avoid objective game modes when I'm lagging because it's a little harder to control the gunfight in objective game modes. You kind of pretty much have to get in people's faces, and I end up losing a lot of gunfights and giving up map control to the other team, and that's probably not helping my team very much. And honestly, most people aren't playing the objective in objective game modes anyway, so why not just play Blast? Well guys, I hope that helped a bit. Try out that buffer bloat thing. And thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one.